Oh, I thought she was telling you.
I was like, what? I have
Sir,
not.
did you cancel the order, man? What'd you
um.
order this time?
Oh no, fucking Amazon and being stuck at home is not a good thing.
Honestly, I almost ordered a sword.
A sword?
Yes, I was sitting there and I was like, I was watching Kill Bill, man, and I was like,
Oh yeah.
I want a katana. So I looked it up and I added it to my cart, and I was
Oh
like,
no.
I had already gone through the process, and I was like, all I needed to do was enter my card information,
There you
and I was
go.
like,
Last step.
I looked at it for like about half an hour, and I was like, nah, we good, never
We'll be
mind.
alright. That's hilarious. It happens.
And then I told my dad, and he's like, if you do buy it, just put it somewhere high. And I was like, is that permission? It's sword time, sir.
It is, man. Like right now, being stuck at home, and I need to get out. I'm actually gonna go to Home Depot after this class, and I need to get some stuff. I need to work around the house, outside or something, because been stuck
We
inside
went
all fucking time.
for reals. We got so bored, we went to freaking Walmart and we bought a BB gun. And now we're just shooting cans outside because there's like nothing else to do.
That's hilarious, man. It happens, man. It happens.
Like my truck needs work, but I think it's already too far gone.
Damn it. Hold on. Hold on. Let me look at a schematic real quick. This one of my buddies
The
is
only
looking
thing is
for.
I don't know what to do when my dad gets home.
What's up, guys?
What's going on, Steven?
Hola, Steven.
Chilling, chilling.
Hey guys, give me ideas on how I won't have to go bald after my dad gets pissed off.
Oh no.
Um,
Just
what
do it,
you
bro. It's
can
not that
do is just always wear a hat.
bad.
I mean, I always wear a hat. I'm gonna keep.
Exactly.
It's real simple. Say you lost a bet.
Ah,
There you
yeah.
go.
Say you lost a
Yeah.
bet to your sister.
I lost a bet against one of the teachers, and well,
Bam, there
That's
you
too
go.
funny.
Hey,
Vega will
Vega.
hook you up. He'll be the teacher.
Vega.
Yo.
I was work. I finished that. I just did the fucking. I just changed the spark plugs, the wires,
Uh-huh.
and an oil change, and it looked like it felt different. But I noticed that on the distributor cap, fucking had like a zip tie on it.
What? So is it broken or what?
Yeah, but he said he's gonna change it later. But like, I'm telling
Mm,
him like it's fucking broken, man. It
yeah,
should be broken.
because
It has a
if
zip
it's
tie.
not contacting, it's not gonna fire. So if it
Yeah.
has no no contact on the cap to the rotor, it's not gonna work. Period.
And then afterwards, I checked it again with the computer,
Uh-huh.
and at first it was like a straight line, like on top, like on very top, and then it was like it just started going like, up and down, up and down, up and down.
Hmm. That's weird. For the O2
I
sensor or what?
recorded it,
Send it in?
yeah, on here, but
Yeah.
I don't think it's like recording.
No.
Hold on,
Let's see. Oh yeah, that's true. It's only a certain file size. I forgot about
I
that.
think it's
You're
only
right. You're right.
pictures. Yeah,
Yeah.
I was gonna try
Um,
to send it, but it's
I was able to get my truck running. So towards the end, I'll hook up my scanner and we'll look at my data to see if it's compared to the same as yours. So and we'll talk about it.
yeah,
and
Um,
I checked my truck too.
for what? Oh, for the O2 sensor?
Yeah, for everything.
Okay.
And it's like has like 11 problems, like all centered everywhere, like on the bank one, bank two, like a whole
Yeah,
bunch of shit.
and usually the best thing to do is just slowly take it like DTC by DTC to find out exactly what's going on.
Yeah,
Sometimes when we have a lot of codes, it's very overwhelming. But I always like just kind of like we're looking at a wiring diagram. Just take it one wire at a time. Same thing with
yeah,
the DTC. Check out what can cause the other things to fail. Like O2 sensors can cause an O2 sensor problem, a lean code, a rich code, and a catalytic converter code. So you always want to
yeah.
focus
'Cause
on that area.
on one pipe it doesn't have the Cadillac converter,
Okay, so
and
then
on one
that'll give
does.
you it right away.
Yeah,
So if one doesn't have it, one's gonna have a very distinctive uh, showing you the millivolts from lean to rich very fast because it doesn't have the Kelly converter, so it's not doing its job. and the other one should be nice and smooth. And like I said, I'll show you guys right now. I already have my truck hooked up. It is a little bit older, so it's not gonna have as much information as I want to show you, like on a modern car, a modern truck. But it is still some data that we can look at in the live feature. So we'll check that out.
What year is it?
It's an 03 Silverado.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's a little bit older. It might be kind of like what you're working with. You said it's an 01, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it might be very similar to that.
It
But,
has like the big lights in front or the round ones. Like
it's like the
like the cat eye or some shit.
yeah, it's that one. That's that.
Oh, okay.
But for chapter 7, we've already gone over batteries. We've already gone over starting systems. Chapter 7 is going to be your charging system. It has to be charged efficiently. So on chapter 7, we have to explain the purpose of a charging system. I'm pretty sure we all know what the purpose is. Why do we have a charging system?
To charge the battery for starting.
Yeah, exactly. Your battery is initially used to start the vehicle for the starter motor because it uses a lot of cranking amps to turn over that engine. Once the engine is turned on, the battery is a voltage stabilizer. Once it's stabilized, the alternator pretty much supplies the rest of the voltage, the rest of the amperage that is required to power up your lights, your heater, your radio, your subwoofer, air conditioning, your electric power steering. All that is being supplied by the alternator. Now, be careful because there are certain conditions that I've seen where people replace an alternator, but the battery is bad. What do you think that may cause? Or vice versa. What if
Like
your
charge
battery is good?
overcharge.
Yeah, exactly. And your computer's not really going to know what's going on because you either have a very, very, very low battery, causing it to trying to overcharge, which is going to make the battery even worse. Or if you have a bad alternator and you have a good battery, it's going to eventually kill the battery because your alternator is not outputting enough voltage and amperage to sustain the amount of utilities or accessories you're trying to power up. So it can go both ways. Be very careful with that. Whenever you're checking a charging system or battery system, always check both battery and charging system at the same time to make sure that they're working efficiently. So we're identifying the major components of the charging system, explain the function of the major components of the AC generator, describe the two styles of stators, describe how AC current is rectified to DC current in the AC generator, describe the three principal circuits used in AC generators, explain the relationship between the regulator resistance and field current, explain the relationship between field current and AC generator output, identify the differences between A circuit, B circuit, and isolated circuits, explain the operation of charge indicators, including the lamps, electronic voltage monitors, ammeters, and voltmeters. So we're going to also explain the use of an ISG and AC motors in hybrid electric vehicles to recharge HV battery. The ISG is called the what's it called? Integrated starter generator. When did we talk about this? The integrated starter generator. You guys remember?
We were talking about the Tesla. And
Yeah,
we were doing all
the
that other stuff
Tesla.
there.
The ISG. I don't know if you guys remember, but I showed you a video of Dodge and their eco systems where they had an ISG, an integrated starter generator, where it was pretty much a giant alternator. This giant alternator served for two purposes. Actually, it was a RAM. I forgot what it was called. I think it was Eco something. Dodge. No. eTorque. It was this guy right here. Just want to show the picture of it. So you see this guy right here?
Yeah.
That thing is massive. That is considered a ISG, an integrated starter generator. Now, what this is meant for is your vehicle is still started up normally by a regular starter motor. Brushed motor, brush design, it's normal. It turns it on. When you crank over the key, it turns it on. Now this, which is Dodge's name for it was e-torque. It is a combination of a alternator, starter, generator, and a torque multiplier. So it does so many things on this unit by itself to add torque for taking off, starting your vehicle when it's already off, and charging your system when it needs it. So it's pretty massive. They used to have this in Chevy a while back when I was out there. The only reason they kind of phased away from it is because this unit alone was extremely expensive. If you had to replace it or if the alternator went out, it was around $1,200 to replace. $1,000 to $1,200 depending on what your model. So that is an expensive part to replace. Now think about it. An alternator nowadays, how much are they usually worth? Like just a regular basic alternator, how much are they really worth? Or have you ever replaced them before? I think I've seen it for like max $300. I think I did a Mitsubishi once, and it was like $350 for just a basic alternator. That's a lot of money. Now, imagine if you had a customer with a vehicle like this with a e-torque ISG starter generator, and you told them, "Hey, you have a bad alternator, but the part is around $1,200. What do you think the customer's gonna do?"
Get furious.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, "Well, it's not my fault, but that's the part."
What's the purpose of that?
The e-torque on this one, it does several functions. It turns on the vehicle when it's at a stop after it's shut down, like, to save fuel. It
Like
adds,
Impalas?
yeah, like the Impalas. The Impalas have that, but the Impalas use the starter to turn off and to turn on the engine. So it has the same starter motor to do both functions. On this one, the good thing about this, it actually has a smooth transition from off to on because it is an electric motor that's slowly spinning a very tightly wound belt on the crankshaft to rotate it into a smooth transition to turn back on. So that's a big difference. It's actually a smoother transition from a stoplight to running again because this guy is actually applying torque to your engine, which is attached to your transmission, which is then moving your vehicle forward. And after it hits a certain RPM, it turns on the engine because it's already rotating, and it just takes off. It's a pretty cool. I've never driven this one, but that's how it was in the Malibu, and it was super smooth. I liked it because if you
So,
actually have driven a vehicle that does not have it, oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Does it come in both like gas and diesel or just gas?
So far, I think Ram is only doing it on their gasoline ones. I don't see diesels yet. Since they're trying to get like a lot of higher fuel economies, I think they only have it in their gas. I haven't seen a hybrid diesel as of yet
Oh, okay.
because diesels actually get pretty good mileage. The only
Yeah.
thing is they have a really bad emissions. So what has happened in the diesel area is their restrictions and their emissions for diesel has strickened so much.
Those big exhaust systems, right?
Yes, you'll be surprised that the exhaust system has so many freaking components to try to meet emissions standards that it's gotten ridiculous. If you actually look at a diesel nowadays, it is stupid expensive because all of the engineering, all the components they've incorporated to pass emissions for it to be sold in the United States.
Yeah.
So it's insane.
A lot of them.
That's
A
why
lot
if
of
I were to
stuff.
buy a diesel, I would like to get like an older diesel, like a
Yeah.
05, 07 latest, because after that, anything after 07, I think they have to put in the requirements, the special piping, the ammonia spray nozzles, the diesel spray nozzles, everything. It's just so many things. Let me show you an example, because uh, the problem with that is, and actually I had a student just send me a snap. He had a Dodge where it has those electronic shifters. So instead
The
of
paddle
manually,
shifters?
it's like, you know how you put your car into park, neutral, drive, reverse, and all that.
Okay.
You have a
Yeah.
manual lever. Well, this
Okay.
Dodge has an electronic switch. So you move the switch from reverse, park, neutral, drive, whatever. Well, he was moving it and it wasn't doing anything. It was stuck on drive and it would not shift to park. I was like, well, this is what happens when you have a lot of electronic gizmos and gadgets on a vehicle that it doesn't require it. Like, why would they even do that? It's just more problems down the line. So he works at the dealer and he sent me the snap. Like, what do you think's wrong with it, Vega? I was like, I don't know, man. You got to check it out. You got to get the schematics, find out what the code is, and see what it's doing because I've never worked on a 2019 Dodge. So you need to actually look at the information and find out what's it doing and why is it doing it, and let's diagnose it. So he's checking it out right now and seeing what's going on, but it would not shift out of drive. It's stuck on drive, and the parking brake will not be applied because it says it's stuck on drive. So it's weird. It's one of those things where everything is new, everything's electronic. The rear brake actuators for the parking brakes are electronic actuators. If you don't do brake jobs, I don't know if y'all cover this in brakes, but anytime you're working on your vehicles, you need to look at the service information because a lot of these vehicles have electronic parking devices where there is an electronic actuator that goes inward to lock the brake pads to the rotor itself. Now, if you don't disable this system before removing the caliper, what do you think is going to happen?
It's gonna scratch the shit out of the brake pad.
Yeah, and actually sometimes the pistons pop out so far that you cannot retract the piston by itself. So if you cannot retract the piston, if it's already gone to the full extent, you need to replace the caliper. And the caliper is not a cheap device. So be very, 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 very careful with that stuff. You need to read. I know like brakes, oh, that's simple. You just take them out, you cut them. You got to be careful, guys, because they do change on newer vehicles. But I want to show you the, see if I can find the system for this.
What car had that? Those things? The E.
A lot of the new ones. Oh, the e-torque. It's all the new 18, 19, 20 Dodge Rams.
And which one's the one that Chevy had before?
It
You
was
said-
called. I think it was just called the ISG.
And
I
it's the same
forgot what it
thing.
was called. Kind of the same thing, yeah. Where is this? I'm trying to show you the. I want to show you the cooling hybrid mechanical controls. Would be under controls. Fuel pump, fuel injectors, fuel pressure. You know, emissions, engines, emissions. There you go. No, it's not this one. So they pretty much have a computer specifically for their exhaust after treatment. This is what it is. There you go. That's what I wanted to see. So check this out, guys. This is your exhaust system on a new diesel. I just want you to look at that. How many freaking sensors and injectors do you see?
16.
That's a lot of sensors and injectors, right?
Yeah.
It is insane. So check it out. You have 18 different things in here. You have, this is just one diesel, your L5P 6.6 liter diesel, right? So your number one, you have your ECM with barrel sensor. That's your number one. Number two, you have your reductant control module or CAN interface, which is another computer. Number three, you have your DEF pressure sensor. Number four is your DEF heater to redundant control module. Number five is your DEF pump. Number six is your DEF continuous level sensor. Number seven is your temperature sensor. Number eight is your DEF quality. Number 9 is your exhaust gas temperature sensor. Number 10 is HC injector. Number 11 is a DPF differential pressure sensor. Number 12 is your PM sensor can interface. Number 13 is your particulate filter. Number 14 is your DOC. 15 is your NOx sensor. So look at that. That's just the new diesels, guys. That's what I'm saying. These diesels have gotten stupid complicated since before. Before, your exhaust was a pipe. It had a sensor in the beginning, it had a sensor in the back, and that is it. Look at how complex these diesels have become to meet emission systems.
Are those still the Duramax?
Yes,
Shit.
that is a Duramax exhaust piping system. That is insane. Though what happens
Can you
here,
get,
though? Oh, go ahead.
can you get one of like the ones that didn't have that so much of that shit?
So that's why if I were to buy a diesel, I would get like no later than an 07. Because I think after 07, that's when they started to incorporate these stringent policies where they have to meet requirement emissions, and they start to incorporate all of these sensors, a separate DEF tank, a separate computer, separate sensors, separate particulate filters, injectors. Some of these spray ammonia, some of these spray diesel. There's so many different things on here. The only thing is, what I've seen before at the dealer, before I left, is how hot do these exhaust systems get? It's diesel. How hot do you think it gets?
Well above 200 C.
Really hard.
Oh,
Really
hell
hard.
yeah. I think when you're doing a diesel particulate filter regeneration, it gets up to 3,000 degrees Fahrenheit. Now, when they get that hot, do you think these metal components start to weld to each other?
Yeah.
Exactly. So a lot of the times when we had a problem with, let's say, number 17, an injector, it was stupid difficult to remove. So we'd have to pretty much suggest, sir or ma'am, we have to replace the whole pipe because this injector is pretty much welded to the exhaust pipe. You cannot fix that. If you break it or cut it off, how are you going to fix that part? It was, it was insane, man. I mean, it was good money for the technician, but if you were to own a diesel like this year, they work great. They're workhorses. They're meant to be driven very hard. But if something goes wrong, the parts are very expensive and the components are very, very, very intricate. If you can see this diagram, that's the diagram I was looking for. I just wanted to show you how complex it is on a new style diesel, and this is not going to go away. This is going to be the newest and latest system for Ford, Dodge, GM, anybody that is manufacturing a diesel, even like a Freightliner and all these bigger trucks. They have to meet emission standards some way, and this is how they're doing it. They're injecting ammonia or a diesel exhaust fluid to clean up the emissions and make it run better, and so on, so on, and so forth. I remember when I did my practicum last summer at Hacienda Ford, we had a F350 dually lifted it was 6-inch lift, all these mud swampers. It was a beautiful fucking truck, right? Well, this guy had removed everything. Of course, this is illegal, but he had removed all of the emission standard piping and gotten a tune and gotten a straight pipe. And this thing, I kid you not, would burn out on all rear 4 tires, dude. It had so much power and so much torque. It was amazing. Like, it was badass. But be careful, because of course that is not legal. But I mean, once it's your vehicle, you can do whatever the hell you want with it. You know what I mean? But it was crazy, man. That thing had so much freaking power.
Straight pipe it.
Yeah, it was straight piped. It was completely straight pipe. It had no diesel exhaust fluid, had no emissions, anything. It was just straight up torque, straight up power. It was an amazing. I was really surprised. But yes, you see all this information. This is exactly what it is. The system overview of how that one particular system works for this diesel system. So, it's a lot. Yeah, look, you're right, John. Exhaust temperatures at the tailpipe may exceed 300 degrees Celsius.
Shit.
It's insane, man. During regeneration, it gets up to 1,200 degrees Fahrenheit.
Jesus
It's hot.
Christ.
Yeah, it's hot. And we used to do this a lot because what happens is it's kind of like a carbon buildup on your engines. You have like a lot of carbon deposits. Same thing happens with the diesel, but it's called soot. This soot gets deposited in your. It's kind of like a catalytic converter. It cleans up the exhaust. But once it starts to accumulate, you actually can do a regeneration, diesel particulate filter regeneration, and this pretty much increases your RPM for your diesel to like 3,000-4,000 RPM. It does it for like 30 minutes, so your exhaust it exceeds a crazy amount of temperature. When we used to do this at the dealer, we would park it out, way far back because it gets really loud. And we parked it next to the parking lot, and well, the parking lot has grass. And sure enough, when we got back there, the grass was completely burnt up. Like you could not save it because it was so freaking hot. It was insane, man. But I mean, that's when you work with diesels, man. It's pretty cool. It's pretty interesting. I liked working on them. It pays very well, but it is a little bit more of a tedious job. I would say electrical transmissions and diesel are one of the most tedious jobs out there in the industry. But
How hot is it?
what's up?
How hot would like a gas muffler or whatever get?
I don't know.
Exhaust.
I've never really checked that. They really don't really tell us because the reason they tell us the temperature here is because it wants you to clean up the exhaust on a diesel, because if you don't clean it up like that, you would have to replace the whole exhaust system, which is extremely expensive. But for the diesel, they actually have, it's called a regeneration system, where it actually increases the temperature of the exhaust pipe to pretty much burn up any excessive soot or carbon deposit in the exhaust to make it last longer, and so you can still use the exhaust system pretty much. On the gasoline side, we really don't have that problem. I mean, the only thing we actually have in the exhaust system is literally two catalytic converters if it's a V8 or V6, and those don't get damaged unless, I think we talked about this Monday, unless you have a misfire, which is dumping fuel into the catalytic converter, and it will dump the system or just ruin it pretty much. So we can't really clean them out through an exhaust system or exhaust way that the diesel does. So that's why they don't really tell us on the gasoline side, just the diesel side, because the diesel side is the one that actually burns it up. Yeah, but it's pretty crazy. It's pretty amazing, but it does get stupid hot.
Imagine trying to find which sensor's bad.
Oh, dude, that's what I'm saying, man. When you, that's why I say, guys, be careful, because like I said, look at that. There's literally 18 components on this exhaust system. Now, which one is actually failing? Well, first of all, you need to find this, because it's, let's say I get a code for a DEF temperature sensor. Okay, so which one's my DEF temperature sensor? You need to find it. Number 7.
I was gonna say in this case it's 7.
Yeah. Yeah, perfect. Number 7 in this case would be number 7. So with this diagram, I'm able to go underneath my vehicle and find out where number 7 is. And number 7 is located actually right here. So it's actually not in your exhaust pipe. It's actually located inside of your tank to get the temperature of your DEF fluid. Yeah, so you would be completely lost if you do not have a diagram, if you do not have the information. That's why I'm telling you guys, I push the reading of the description operation a lot, because I'm trying to help you guys for the future. And you know what? Some people do it, some people don't. But I've noticed the students that do it, they have an easy time finding things and diagnosing things, because they're not running around trying to look for where this is, where that is, where this is. You know what I mean? Because that's half the battle. Like that, I like that question. It was really good, because yes, you're right. There's so many components in here. How do you know which one to check? Because if you don't know which one to check, you're gonna be lost. If you're lost, you're gonna lose money, you're gonna lose time, and that's not something we want to do in this field. So that is a really good question. If you ever run across something you can't find, that's why I always say, hey, let's go to schematics, let's go to description, let's go to component location. That is the best thing that's gonna help you in this diagnostic systems. You know what I mean?
Like sometimes, like when I have shit to do, like on the car, I just go straight to like auto repairs first,
Mhm.
and I just like look. Oh, I just like look for it, just find it, and finally I find it and shit.
Yeah, I mean that's good. I want you guys to practice that. I know we're limited on stuff right now, especially since we're at home. But you still have access to the STC website, the what is it called? Motor Logic, I think. That, of course, we have Google, which I don't really recommend unless it's the last resource. But there's also the stuff that we have on Electude. Use the stuff to your advantage. I've gotten so many calls. Like right now, I had to find a schematic for a buddy. I get so many calls for schematics and information and stuff like that, where they understand that if you don't have information, how the hell are you going to diagnose something? Because you can't. You're just guessing, and that's not what you want to do. Especially a lot of these systems are going electrical. You can't guess on these things. You have to know exactly what you're looking at. So I know we sidetracked a little bit, but it's just something that I find very interesting. I mean, like I said, I get really interested into like topics. But we'll come back into our system.
But
So
we're talking about electrical, right?
yeah, everything has to be pertaining to electrical. And honestly, I like it because literally everything is electrical in these systems. There's nothing that's not electrical. When I purchased my vehicle, I made sure it had at the least amount of electrical components possible, because I've worked out there. I've seen what all these fancy gadgets can do. I've worked on Cadillacs. Since I worked for GM, I would work on Cadillacs also. Cadillacs were very beautiful, very nice, very luxurious. Major problem is many electrical problems, and they were not cheap. So we'd get customers that were out of warranty complaining that I was charging so much for a warranty claim and I'm charging too much for labor and the parts are too much. Like, well, ma'am, sir, you own a Cadillac. This is a luxury brand vehicle. What do you expect? You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
people don't take that into consideration. I do, because like I said, I've worked out there. So honestly, man, when I see like a Toyota or a basic Honda or like my basic Subaru, I like it because I can work on it, I can fix it, and hopefully I will not have problems down the line. Simple. I just like simple stuff.
We all do.
Yeah. So going back to our charging system components, of course, we need to know and make sure that our battery is completely charged and working efficiently. The alternator is an AC DC generator. It converts alternating current to direct current. All of our voltage in our vehicle is direct current. What do you think can happen if I have alternating current in my system? What do you think can happen if I have alternating current in my direct current system?
It'll fry all your electronics.
That is actually right. Now, how do we
That happened.
check? Oh, really? Oh, damn.
Literally. You know that alternate or the fucking damn it, what's it called? Converter, whatever the fuck. AC to DC
Uh-huh.
converter I've been working on.
Uh-huh.
I plugged in the thing to test it, and apparently one of the wires was touching and it never went through the converter.
Oh, shit.
Thankfully,
So
it
that
was
was
just a
it.
lamp.
Oh, okay, that's good. Yeah, because I mean, it will literally mess up stuff really bad.
The bulb
And
went boom.
it just popped, right? Yep.
Yeah.
It's insane. And I've never run across one, luckily, but it is possible. It can happen. Now, the thing is, how do you check if you have alternating current in your system? Remember, everything's powered up by the battery, right? And what is this battery receiving? Voltage, right? So your battery is receiving direct current voltage, DC voltage, right? So when you check for DC voltage on my battery, let's say it's running already. Power to power, and ground to ground, and my voltage should be on a running vehicle, let's say like 13.8 volts. Running. It's already running, you know? Alright, so that's good. When it's shut off, it should have around 12.6 volts. Now, how do I check if anything in my system is receiving alternating current?
Continuity.
Not continuity, because that, remember, that checks it checks from end to end. How can we check?
Ohms?
No, what was that?
Ohms?
Not ohms. Remember, we just checked DC. Now I want to check AC. How would I check AC on my battery?
Voltage drop?
Mm-mm.
No. Chinga.
So we just checked direct current. Remember, that symbol is direct current,
Yeah.
right? Our direct current said we have 13.8 volts, right? But we just said we should not have any AC volts. So what can I do to check for AC volts?
Flip them.
Yeah, just flip it from DC to AC.
AC.
So with our meter now converted to AC, what do you think my reading should be?
It shouldn't read.
Yeah, it should be very, very, very close to 0. And honestly, the recommended value is actually less than 0.5 volts, which is 500 millivolts of alternating current voltage. If you have anything above this, like John said, you're going to have a lot of problems. So the way to check for any alternating current that's being seeped into my battery is to switch it to AC current, check the positive, positive, negative, negative, and look at what my reading is. It should be less than 0.5. Now think about it. If I have an excessive of 0.5 volts of alternating current, what could be the problem?
Your alternator is going much too fast, or it's going too much.
Yeah, so somewhere in the alternator you have a problem. Now I haven't covered it yet, but let me just show you what it is. Do you guys remember what diodes do?
One-way allowance of electrons of flow.
That's exactly right. So on our
Just be
alternator,
quiet now.
no, no, at least someone's answering. Over here, I'm just talking to myself. Uh, where's it at?
Hello.
Yes, sir. That's regulation. Charging circuit. I guess I can show you this. So on here, depending on what type of winding you have on your actual alternator, Y winding, and you have a delta wound. There is 6 diodes in your rectifying bridge. Your rectifying bridge converts alternating current, to direct current. So it has 6 diodes. Diodes only allow voltage to go in one direction. So it pretty much turns a sine wave right here from a up and down motion to a one motion only producing DC voltage. Now, if you were for any reason seeing any type of alternating current in your battery, you'll more than likely have a bad diode in your rectifying bridge. So yes, more than likely your whole alternator will have to be replaced because normally they don't replace the rectifying bridge separately, or you won't be able to actually purchase it separately at an auto parts store. So the rectifying bridge is what converts alternating current to direct current through 6 diodes that allows voltage to go in one direction only. Okay, so John, you're right. If you have AC current going to your battery, it's going to be alternating, but it's actually the rectifying bridge that is bad. Now, you may or may not be able to find it. A lot of places don't sell it. So you're more than likely going to have to replace the alternator complete. So that's what it is.
Sir,
Yo,
can you hear me?
yes sir.
Oh, okay. Can you do me a favor? Can you
Uh-huh.
check something for 2018 cruise?
2018 Cruise.
Yeah, because they having problem with the wipers.
Okay.
It only works on high, and they changed the motor and didn't work.
Do you okay, so I have 2 Cruises. 2018 Chevrolet Cruise.
Uh huh.
I have one that says VIN B and RPO L17. I'm not sure what that one is. You have to find the RPO, but let's check out this one first. Let's see what it is. Wait, did I get the right one? Cruise Gen 2, VIN B, source manual, Australia, New Zealand, Europe, North America. The other one is Israel, US, Canada. This one. And we're looking
Yeah.
for the wiper blades, right?
Yeah.
Is that the number 3
Yeah.
on the VIN?
The VIN is number 4 for cars, and I think. Oh, actually, no, you're right. Yes, 3 for cars, 4 for trucks. And we're looking at wipers. Okay, so the wiper system on this car. The wiper washer system consists of the following electronic components: the windshield wiper, washer pump, the wiper motor, module, windshield wiper motor module, window wiper washer switch, the body control module, the rear wiper motor, window washer pump relay, and the unhood fuse block. So you're saying the front one doesn't work, right?
Yeah, yeah. Cause they changed the motor and it
Uh-huh.
doesn't work either. He said only on high.
Only on high. All right, so let's see how it works. Okay, so this is the body control module controls the wiper motor based on an input from the wiper switch. So when the wiper operations is requested, the BCM will send serial data messages to the windshield wiper motor module. The front wiper system consists of the driver's side and passenger side wiper arm, which are connected by a mechanical linkage driven by the windshield wiper motor module. The windshield wiper motor module contains the necessary electronics, motor, and position sensor. Wiper position sensors to execute front wiper commands from the BCM. The windshield wiper motor module clears the front windshield wiper, controlling the up and down wiper movement. Okay, reversing the motor's internal position switch. The sensor keeps track of the gear wheel positioned. When the windshield wiper motor module determines that the wiper arms are in the position to reverse direction. Okay, let's see. The BCM communicates with the windshield wiper motor module through serial data. The windshield wiper motor module provides system status and diagnostic information to the BCM for diagnostics, reporting, and operational purposes. Now, first of all, as you can see here, guys, is this already a complex system?
Yes.
Yeah, it's just a freaking wiper motor. It's going through serial data, which is information that is being sent from computer to computer. It has a computer, it has a switch, it has sensors. So freaking crazy. Now, did you check for codes?
I haven't checked it. I'm on my way there.
Mhm.
So I don't know.
I would try to check. I mean, if you want, I can probably give you the schematics. But the thing is,
Yeah.
since this is controlled by the computer nowadays, we kind of need codes. So you said you replaced the what? The motor?
I didn't do it. He take it
Mhm.
to somewhere, I don't know who,
Uh-huh.
and he said they changed the motor.
So they replaced the windshield wiper motor, right?
Yeah.
Okay. But what was it doing? What's the problem?
That he tries to put it on different levels.
Mhm.
It doesn't work. Only when he put it on
On
one.
high? Okay.
Yeah.
So none of this levels work, only high. Let's see.
Don't ever get a chicken, man.
I actually wanted chickens from my backyard. Are they annoying or what?
Yeah, they fucking shit everywhere, man.
Oh no.
Like inside the shop, there's like shit everywhere. Fucking,
That's hilarious.
and it's sleeping here. There's fucking laying eggs and shit. My neighbor that just showed up and never fucking left.
All right, check this out, guys. Oh shit, kick my computer. If you look at this, remember we already read the description operation, so we know that my switch, this guy right here, the windshield wiper washer switch, sends data to my body control module, right? We already discussed that. When my body control module receives data from the wiper switch, it then sends a signal, which is right here. You see this up and down arrow?
Uh huh.
This is your serial data. So
Oh,
it literally is one wire that is sending communication from the motor module and the BCM to tell them what speed it's trying to go at. So
okay.
it might not be the module, it might more than likely be the actual switch. Because remember, the switch is what determines the speed. The speed is then sent to the BCM. The BCM then sends the data to the wiper motor. But I'm just saying it could be that. But what are other possibilities, guys?
Oh, maybe
Uh,
like, cause remember
Terminal
on the
test.
Yeah, that could be one.
on
What
the
was that?
switch,
Could
on the
be a bad
switch, you know
switch.
how it has like a bunch of wires? How
Yeah,
it has different wires for the different levels or what?
yeah. If you look at here, let me zoom in a little bit more.
so those are the levels.
Yes, if you look at here, and what do you
Oh,
have here?
okay.
There's a symbol, right? You have 442 ohms, 536 ohms, 665 ohms, 825 ohms. So these are different level speeds. So the higher the ohms, the higher the resistance, more than likely is the slower it's going to go. So you actually have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 speeds, I would say.
I'm think I'm thinking it probably happened like you know how my truck like just the fucking wire burned off.
Yeah.
For the. Oh yeah, I remember.
Yeah, it could be something like that. Um, it could be the switch. Like I'm saying, it could be the switch, but it could also be a wire from the switch to the BCM, which you have 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 4 wires that go from the switch directly to the BCM, and you have 2 wires from the BCM from the BCM to the wiper motor. So it's not a very complicated circuit. If you want, I can get you the diagram
Yeah.
as well as the connector end views, and if you want, you can go ahead and try to check it out. But I would say try to check for a
Probo codes.
code, yes, because remember, now you're working with a computer to
Mhm.
computer to switch. It's more complicated.
Vega,
That's why. Huh? What's up?
you know how it has like different ohms? Is that like the different speed or what?
Yes, because remember, the higher the resistance. Let's go back to the basics. If you have high resistance, you have low what?
I tell you,
Shit.
I'm just gonna be quiet now.
If I have high
Nah,
resistance, you have low. Does anyone remember,
uh,
guys?
Low,
Those what?
rotation.
I think you said it. What would you say?
low.
Low, low.
Load.
Well, not. It's not load. It's kind of
I'm,
you're
I'm,
going back to
I'm
Ohm's law.
almost done.
So if you have high resistance, you have low voltage and low amperage. If you have low resistance, you have high amperage, high voltage. Right? That makes sense?
And high amperage moves it faster? Or
Yes,
what?
exactly. So
Okay.
think about it. Let's look at this as a. Don't think about it as a wiper yet, because it might confuse. But look at this part just right here as a blower motor fan speed. So to get your fan to blow super fast, do you want more resistance or do you want less resistance?
Less resistance.
Exactly. So less resistance allows more voltage and current flow to the motor to spin faster. So if you look at this diagram, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 resistors, right? So each resistor is a speed from slow to fast. Now, George was saying that he has a problem where it only works on high speed, right? So, I'm not sure which one it could be. I think it can only be maybe this terminal 3, because this is sending a data to my computer for the speed. Now, let me go back to the description real quick.
This is fun.
It's a lot of stuff, but I mean, I like this stuff, man. It puts you in there.
Yeah.
Let's see. That's the washer pump. I don't want to know about the washer pump. I think it's this. So here it is. This is the little resistors we're talking about. It says the BCM utilizes resistive multiplexing through the wiper switch to discern the requested action from the driver. The BCM will respond by commanding the specific wiper function to operate as follows. Using intermittent wipers, the wipers pause briefly on the windshield. If the wiper level is moved to off or if additional wipes are not required, the wipers may move to the base of the windshield. Okay. If the ignition is put in off while the wipers are on low, high, or intermittent, they will immediately stop. If the ignition is put off while the wipers are performing wipes due to the windshield washing, the wipers will continue to run until they reach the base of the windshield. Okay. So the windshield wiper system mist operation is identical to low speed operation, except the mist switch is a press and release type switch. When the wiper switch is moved to the mist position, the 1 times, and released, low speed wiper motor operation is started and will continue until 1 cycle is complete. If the wiper switch is moved to the mist position and held, the wiper motor will operate in low speed until the switch is released. To initiate the high speed wiping operation, which we do have only, the BCM provides continuous high speed wiper operation through setting the serial data signal to high speed wipe. When the wiper switch lever is moved to the high position, which is a high, and released, the high speed wiper motor operation is started and high speed wiping motor operation is performed. So to me, I think it's receiving the data for the high speed, right?
Uh-huh.
But it's not receiving the data for the rest.
Yeah.
So what I think, the way I see this is, um,
Quick question: Are you
uh-huh.
guys recording this?
I have no idea.
Okay, because I mean I'm hearing it, but I can't see it because of course I'm driving,
Yeah, of course.
but I'm still here.
Okay.
Alright.
Let me go back to the schematics. So is there one that says high on here or no? See, that is your miss button because that is a switch right there. That is a normally open switch. You contact it and it commands the circuit to turn on the mist and low speed. Okay, so it's not going to be this circuit.
Looks like a gauge, a little symbol.
That's a ground. It's not going to be the ground. Now on these, I'm trying to figure out what these are.
Gauges.
I don't know. The thing is, I think your high speed is going to be this guy right here. This last one right here because it has the lowest amount of resistance. So I think, me personally, the way I see it, the way I read it, it is receiving the high speed signal from my wiper, windshield wiper washer switch to my BCM because it receives it through this circuit. Circuit 1714, yellow and blue. It's receiving a signal to my BCM, but only high.
Would that be
So-
the connection?
So the yellow and blue.
Yeah. The yellow and blue is the one that's sending the signal from your windshield wiper switch to your BCM.
Oh,
Vega,
Huh.
is that like the connection to the box to the wiper
Yes.
motor?
So let me show you now. Okay, now that
To check the
we've kind of
water or something?
understand it, because this is where we get into a more difficult situation. So let me convert this to the
Do the wiggle test
that too, man. That helps too. Wiper
on the
18
connection.
wiper. So now Steven wants to go in there and actually find this out. So let's check it out. Now we're gonna get into the tough stuff. So we have the schematic. Now we need the connector in view for the switch, the BCM, and the wiper motor. So that's where we egg into the nitty gritty stuff.
That's
That's
where
where
I'm
we start
talking
getting
about.
stuff. There you go. That's where we get the good stuff. So now I need some space in here. Let's go to the top left. We're going to insert. Did I download it? Where did I save it?
To me, I think the wiggle text is gonna fix that shit.
Hey man, the wiggle test helps a lot. Desktop.
It's
Thought I
probably
saved
like
it.
not connected right or some shit.
Oh, it's right there.
I'm gonna want to check it out too.
There it is.
Our curse words.
Oof, why is it so fucking small? All right, so we have our diagram, right? Now we need BCM. Now, which connector am I looking at for the BCM?
Um,
Anybody? Which connector do I need for the BCM?
yellow and blue.
Well, that's the wire. Which connector
Oh
though?
yeah. Oh, connector.
Green and brown.
That's
Oh.
13.
yeah. So look, remember, this is my BCM, right? This is all dotted. The connector is right here. So connector X3, terminal 13, terminal 20, terminal 25, and terminal 10. So what I need to find is my BCM K9 connector for X3. So I have
Cause
to go
that 10
back.
is the ground, no?
Yes, 10 is ground and it's black and gray, and that's the circuit number. So let's verify this. Let's go to, let me go back one. I need to go into location. We're gonna control F, K9, K9 BCM. Look at how many connectors they have, guys. Is that a lot of connectors?
Shit, yeah.
Yeah.
So do we have to be precise? We have to be precise. Now, the thing that I see here is, and I don't know this, so I might get the wrong one, is if you look at this, let me zoom in just a little bit. Oh, too much. If you guys can see this, I'm sorry for the zooming in, but it says K9 BCM connector X3. One has JFA and the other does not have JFA. So right now I can
Yeah,
only
it's in the
go
bottom.
with a guess. It's the bottom one? Do you know if it has this RPO by any chance?
Oh no, I don't know.
Okay, so I just saw the little duck. I'm gonna go with let's try this one real quick. Let's see what we get. And we said terminal X313. X313. Yeah, if you look at here, this is the connector. And 13 is yellow and blue, 1714, windshield wiper switch low signal. So it might be this one.
Uh-huh.
But let's check the other one real quick. Well, the one with JF. K9. Oh, it's the same thing. So that's good.
Oh yeah.
So that's a good thing. But always be careful because all the other ones might be a little bit different. So what I like to do is I get the connector. I like to print it in an actual physical paper. X3. And then I like to put it on my Blackboard, which is right here. We're gonna add PDF, X3, that guy right there, insert, zoom in. So pretty much what this is saying is from my windshield washer switch and my BCA, oh actually now I need this connector, windshield washer switch, windshield washer switch. So this is electrical, boys. This is the good stuff. Wind shield washer. Oh, we need this one too. All right. S82 windshield wiper / washer switch is located on the steering column, and the connector and view is right here. So it's a small connector. Now with this information, we can kind of get everything going together. I'm gonna print out the whole thing actually. I think this might be better actually. S82. Hey, did I lose you guys, or are you guys still with me?
Here.
We're here.
Still here.
We're just listening, you know.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the first half I've been talking, but I didn't realize I had it on mute.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Bruh.
Okay.
All right. So we have our windshield wiper washer switch. We have 10 terminals. And on here we can see that terminal 1 does low reference. Oh fuck, I didn't mean to move that. Number 2 is the windshield wiper high signal. 3 is the low signal. 4 is not occupied. 5 is the wiper signal. 6 is not occupied. 7 is your windshield washer signal. Okay, so what we're looking at is number 3. And if you look at here, number 3 is the only one that communicates to here. And if you look at here, pretty much what it's saying is 3 in here, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, this one right here. This wire sends data. How do I move this? To X3, 13, right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 14, 13, right here. That's what it is. So that wire is connected to my BCM through that circuit. Now, if you wanted to do is you can actually check continuity from there to there to make sure that it's good. But that is the only circuit that actually tells my BCM the speed. So if it only says high, I'm pretty sure we have a bad switch. I'm guessing it's a bad switch, but I would always still check the rest of the circuits.
Yeah.
Which is circuit 3 to 13, 2 to 20, 7 to 25, and 1 to 10. If everything is being received, you more than likely have a bad switch. But the way, and this is kind of difficult because I don't know if you have a scanner or not. With the scanner, you can actually go into the data. Now, let me stop you right here. Who is receiving the data from my wiper switch?
The BCM.
Exactly. So if I want to see my actual data from my switch, what module do I go into?
The BCM one.
Yes, exactly. I'm not trying to confuse you guys. I want you to tell me that you
Yeah,
understand it. Yeah.
yeah.
That's good. Yeah, you're actually right. So
Would that one be
with
the vehicle control module?
yeah, so you're gonna go with the scanner. You would actually have to go into your BCM. Now, in your BCM, you're gonna have to find my windshield wiper washer switch. And this is what I do before I do any of this electrical stuff. The reason I'm showing this electrical stuff is because let's say I already did basic and I found out that it's not working. Well, then that's when you do your electrical checks. But if you have access to a scanner, it makes life easier. We understand that my switch sends data to my BCM. Well, guess what? you can actually view this information with this scanner in my BCM data and moving the switch from low, medium, high, intermittent, and high speeds. If it is not receiving the data from low to intermittent or low to medium speed, but it receives it at high, that is a good indicator that the switch is bad between low, medium, and medium high speed, but high works. So that pretty much eliminates a possibility that it's your wire, it's your circuit, it's your wiper blades, you pretty much eliminate everything, and you know it's a switch because my BCM is not receiving the signal between low to medium. Does that make sense?
He still have to try the wiggle test first.
Yeah, you can do that too. Do the wiggle test. But I'm just trying to show you like different methods on how to check this out. But that's what I would do in that situation. It's a fairly new vehicle. It's a 2018. It's pretty advanced already. It has a lot of electrical stuff. As you can see here, guys, if I were to diagnose this vehicle, I need all of this stuff. That's a lot of stuff, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a lot of stuff just for this one windshield wiper. But you need to make sure you understand how it works, understand how to check it, and go from there. But we know for sure it's not the motor. But
No.
it could be the switch. But check the wires first before replacing the switch, because remember, it's only 4 wires that go from your switch to the BCM. Make sure you check for continuity and make sure that everything's working fine. If everything is working fine, what you can probably do is check resistance at 3, from 3 to 1 at the windshield washer switch, and see if it has resistance between all the speeds and see what happens. That's what I would do. Yeah. It's a difficult one, guys, but it's a good one, and I'm glad you brought that one up because it is a pretty crazy one.
Yeah, I know.
And but it is, man. That's a pretty tough one. Like I said, if I were doing this right now, I need all this information. I need my schematics. I need my DVOM.
And I'm back to doing my eyes closed while driving.
Just like that.
Just like that.
I wish it was that simple.
How much do you charge for that?
Me, if I found the problem, of course, this is gonna take time because I have to remove the BCM, I have to remove the switch, I have to take off the columns. You know how you took off the switch on yours? You have to take off the column, the top and bottom. So, to diagnose it, it'd probably be like an hour and a half, so maybe $80. Yeah, just to diagnose it.
I thought, George, $80.
Just to diagnose and then try to figure out. Once that, well then $80 plus the parts, pretty much whatever. Or unless they want to get their own parts and stuff like that.
200. Fuck it.
There you go. Electrical. I like electrical because I can charge what I want. Of course, be
Reasonable.
decent. Yeah, be reasonable because if you charge too much, they're not gonna bring you any more work. But also don't undercharge yourself because then you're losing money. And for the longest time, I've been undercharging, so I went ahead and bumped up my prices a little bit because it's true. I mean, right now the dealership charges like $150 an hour, and my buddy he does side work. He asked me how much do I charge? I'm like, oh, I charge like $30 an hour. Like fuck that, I charge like 50. He's like 50. He's like holy shit. But I mean, I guess
Dude, I paid my tia to check her car, dude.
there you go.
I mean, would it work to like charge cheap in the beginning just to get like
Yes.
word out?
Get your
and then-
clientele. Yes,
Yeah.
that's how I did it. Charge cheap, do good work. And you're gonna get a lot of people that refer you to, their friends and stuff like that. So that's always good. That's a good way to start. Don't just start really high because it might not work out. So I always
Charge
charge.
cheap, do mediocre.
Well,
Oh,
yeah,
there you
you
go.
can do that too. Yeah. Everybody is
charge-
gonna have their standard. What's
I
that?
charge my friend $60 for the oil change and spark plugs and diagnosis.
You see, that's pretty good because you actually did quite a bit of work. So that's not bad.
Holy shit, guys.
And how long did it take you to do everything?
I was like
Multitasking.
multitasking. About like maybe an hour or two.
And see, that's not bad. So that would be considered like $25 an hour, which is really good.
Yeah.
Hey, you guys,
Yeah.
I got awarded $2,422 for a summer 1920.
Oh, nice. Are you gonna go to the summer class?
Yeah, in 1920.
1920.
It says
What the fuck?
1920 instead of 2020.
What the hell? That's weird. Oh, it's probably a typo.
It is.
I think they are gonna be offering summer guys, but I think as of right now, it's still gonna be online. So I'm not sure what y'all think about that. Yeah, I know everybody's like, I don't know about that. That's totally understandable. I told the boss like, hey, yes, summer's open, but I don't think a lot of people are gonna sign up because of this fact. Um, we're hoping that in summer 2 it will go back to normal. I am teaching a GM class, which is going to be HVAC and suspension, and we moved it to summer 2 in hopes that they can go back to class because even them they were like, I don't know about sir. Actually, I was like, dude, but we're waiting on that. So we moved that one to summer 2 just to see if hopefully we'll be able to go back in. It's a smaller class, of course. My GM class is around 10 students right now. But I mean, that's all. Just sign up for now, and if I'll let you know if you go on hands-on. I mean, you're okay to go for the next time. But the only problem with GM class is we won't offer that class till the following summer. So I was like, just be careful, guys, because you might have to take another year to do those two classes. Because the way the GM works is they consecutively run the same courses every year, and it doesn't change. It can't change because it'll mess up the flow. But for the rest of us, it's a little bit different. It's up to you guys if you want to join the class. More than likely, it will be a full online, kind of like what we're doing right now. But we are offering some classes, but I'm not sure which ones are out there yet.
Finally back home, dude. It feels so good.
The what?
Finally back home.
Oh,
Freaking
nice.
sweating. It's hot.
Oh, it's,
Oh,
yeah,
so
it's hot outside.
Cause I was in the '85 Chevy and well, there's no AC.
What was
And the
that, man?
window-
My brother
Oh,
just
so,
got
like,
his,
if-
lab exam today, and he's like, "Holy shit, it was fucking hot out there."
Oh yeah.
So like if we don't want to go to the summer classes, we just have to go into Dragnet and decline the financial aid and stuff.
Yeah. So if you already
Okay.
signed up for summer, you pretty much can drop it if you want, and wait for the
Oh,
next
okay.
or for fall.
No, well, I didn't sign up. That's why I'm kind of like, I don't know why.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know they do offer. Hold on. Summer classes
Oh,
for financial aid, and they do help. But if you don't take it, I don't even think that's a big problem.
oh, okay. Oh, so this is just like something they're telling you it's available. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
oh, okay.
George, you still there?
Yes, sir.
I went ahead and put the wiring diagrams there. If you want to use them, you can go ahead and use them, or if you can
Okay.
print them out, go for it. But they're there. If you need something, just let me know. I'll send it. It's usually the easiest way. But you have the whole schematic, you have the connector, and you have you have everything that we went over. You can check it out there.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Yeah, no problem, man. Any other questions, guys, for today?
You guys are going back to campus next week, right?
Yes.
Like teachers.
Mhm.
So if I could get the car, or how's
Yeah.
that gonna work?
You want to let me go in on Monday, and then Monday when I get back home, I'll let you know when. More than likely, if you can go by Tuesday, we'll check it out.
Dude, bad news. They
Okay.
crushed it.
Yeah. What's up? What happened?
Bad news. They crushed it.
No, no.
Dude, I wouldn't be surprised like if a tire went flat or the battery discharged, because I mean that thing's been sitting there for a while.
It's been more than likely it'll probably be dead. But yeah,
Mhm.
I go back in on Monday. Let me make sure that everything's situated there, and I'll find out that day if you can go pick it up. I'm pretty sure you can, and you can go pick it up Tuesday when I go back.
Alrighty.
Yeah.
Yeah, sounds good.
Anything else, guys?
What is
I'm
the
really
meaning of
happy I
life?
didn't leave my truck there.
What is the meaning of life? I have no idea. We're still going by that. Oh, I know. But
Depends
I
on the
guess
way you
that's
look
it,
at it.
man. That's it for today.
All
right.
You have a good day.
Alrighty, guys. You have a good one. You have any questions? Let me know.
All right.
Thank you, sir.
Alright, guys. You
Later.
have a good one.
Good luck, George.
Thank you.